and welcome back to Mr. What Presents. This time, a field that can help you out, MEDA. Tell us more about MEDA. What is MEDA?
Sure, yeah. Thanks so much again for hosting me. It's super awesome to, be able to talk to everyone on your platform. So MEDA stands for Mission Economic Development Agency. It's located on 19th and Mission Street, a big red building. And basically, MEDA has been around for about 40 years. It came out of grassroots efforts for the Latino, Latina, Latinx community in the Mission District to, be able to access some resources that they were lacking, and support with housing and financial coaching, support finding, making connections. Sometimes as immigrants and multi-generational communities in San Francisco, it can be difficult to navigate all the different systems in place. So I think MEDA really helps support people through that, and I think that's the intention and a lot of what we're hoping to do.
Mm-hmm. When was MEDA created? Where does funding come from? Who's behind this amazing resource for the Latino community and way beyond?
Yeah, so MEDA is it's older than 40 years old. So it's,
wow.
Yeah, it's been a staple in the community for a while. It's really funny because actually I used to walk by the building all the time, and then I was like, what is this building? Because at the bottom, I think people don't really notice or realize, because at the bottom it just looks like commercial shops.
Mm-hmm.
But those commercial shops are actually part of MEDA through the Small Business Creation Program that gives access to small business sites for people who want to enhance their situation. But as far as funding, MEDA is a private, public funded organization. So there are a series of grants, as well as the city of San Francisco partially funds.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, my impression was it was maybe one of these newer programs addressing the bleeding that's happened in San Francisco since pretty much 2011. Definitely increased a lot. With the programs that brought a lot of tech into town and didn't anticipate on the housing issues and hourly issues for the common folks and blue collar and people that are actually touching and
live,
making
work
things
in San
and
Francisco,
not in the tech environment. So I thought maybe it was like 6, 7, 8 years old, but
no, it's been a long time. So and that's the thing. It's like these issues are not new to the Latino, Latina, Latinx community. These are issues that have been long term as far as housing and accessing resources, having connections that are meaningful in the education system. MEDA also has a partnership with Mission Promise Neighborhood, which is a federally funded program that was put into place during the Obama administration. And Mission Promise Neighborhood has created a network of referrals for different members in the community. So basically, a lot of what we try to do is intergenerational work. So let's say you are a person who comes into MEDA and you have a family and you're a working class person and you're a long-term resident of Mission, then we'll say, okay, cool, you're here for, let's say, financial coaching. Let's talk about that. Let's talk about what your savings plan, your budget, your finances in general. And also, let's connect your child to resources in their school if they're inside of the San Francisco Unified School District and in the participating locations. So it's a really integrated program and an integrated organization in San Francisco.
We'll be back and forth between that website. Encourage people to take a look at what's going on there at MEDA.
Definitely.
Dig in and zero in, drill in, and there's a lot of people behind MEDA. How many employees are working for that operation?
So we're expanding. So there's a bunch of new people just hired. So I think we're getting close to or about 50.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And again, I'm a little intrigued about the funding. Where's it come from? Like donations, city hall, private, local neighborhood businesses, or what is it? ORGs? What?
Yeah. So again, it's a mixture. There's grants. Those grants can come from all types of organizations. For example, the program that I'm focusing on is the artist-based outreach program. So the SF Arts Commission has put forward some funds to help us build up this program. which is super awesome. And they're like, they have some goals in mind, and we're gonna meet those goals, obviously, and then we're gonna move forward and hopefully expand this program.
And we'll be pulling the website here just to invite artists to engage and look it up. There's a lot of resources that, we're all complaining about San Francisco is getting harder to live in, is shrinking and such. But the reason I brought you here today is to sort of dispel that myth or, that reality, but sort of spice it up with hope and encourage people to seek solutions. There are opportunities. That's what you're in the midst of. Yeah,
I mean, there are definitely opportunities. There are ways that we can work together to try to find meaningful long-term solutions, whether that be housing, or if you have a plan for a small business, or if you would like to get a new job and you need help trying to find a job, we can connect you with a workforce coach. And then also just on the larger structural, social political level, a lot of it is about engagement and coming to these types of grassroots organizations. Obviously coming to MEDA, I would love you to come to MEDA. But there are other, if MEDA doesn't suit your needs, it's really about artist engagement in these spaces and having these really valuable and necessary conversations about resources and access to resources, and just transparency about the financial realities that a lot of us are facing at this point in San Francisco because of the income disparity and the social inequality, how rampant it is.
And you were telling me that you yourself came to the city as an artist, had a lot of struggles, figuring out your situation, and hundreds of roommates and such. Finally, basically, your passion or your dedication to solving these problems is what got you to seek a job at MEDA. Is that so?
Yeah. So definitely, I think my personal experiences have led me to really value housing and really think about how to, switch or change or motivate or react to a situation and help people understand that housing is a human right. And I think, I mean, I could go into so many different things on that, but I want to definitely stick to MEDA. But yes, my own personal stories, the stories of the people I'm friends with, the communities I've seen and been in, artists are struggling in a lot of ways that, the counterculture and the things that people love about San Francisco are dwindling away.
Right.
And that is a problem.
Yep. And it's definitely something we want to address. Let's imagine someone who's listening to us is dealing with impending eviction or so.
Yeah.
What are the first turnkey tricks and solution you would just suggest to them, whether they visit the MEDA site or not?
Sure.
What are tricks that you've learned that people are totally unaware of that can save the day?
Sure. So I think, for example, it's searching for different educational tools and resources. Like, there are some preferences out there. If you are evicted, it's really important to find legal support. There is, for example, Causa Justa or Just Cause. They're on the second floor of Plaza Adelante, which is what the building MEDA is inside of is called. Also 19th and Mission. And Causa Justa does different types of legal support for people who are being evicted. They can help you, or they can talk to you about displaced tenant housing preference. At MEDA, we can talk to you about that too, what that looks like, how to know if you're a victim of the Ellis Act, what that means for you. And then also just what are some of your rights as a renter, as a person who owns a home. And then also just make sure to just track everything. I think that's a really fundamental thing that a lot of us, with the fast-paced life and just the shifting, the ever-shifting scheme of life, we may not think about saving that email we had, the email thread about the conversation that we may have had with a landlord, and just little things like that are just so fundamentally necessary.
So keeping all records, all tracks of the
interactions,
dire situation you're going through can help, and then
publicizing it, advocating for yourself can really help as well, in the sense of spreading the word to other people around you, talking to, if you're in a multi-unit building, trying to do, you know, the grassroots effort and talking to your neighbors if they're trying to get y'all to take a buyout. If you want the buyout, organize for a higher buyout, you know, just really, one, educate yourself, try to know your rights, find places that are willing to give you the free resources you deserve, and then also to really begin to engage with the people around you, because I think that that's one thing that in San Francisco is really lacking in general. This is a generalization, obviously, but I think like because everyone's moving and shifting and there's so many new people and older people and like everyone's just kind of like, well, like it's like some of those community ties may not be as strong, and that's what we really need to move forward with.
They used to be strong, but there's
and
been
for some
such
people they still are. But you know what I mean,
there's
like
been such a shift that is kind of getting lost. But what you're here to remind us is that there are still some defense mechanisms.
Yeah, there are defense mechanisms, and they can only grow from this point as long as people continue to engage and want them. And, you know, there's the whole, with the administration, the federal administration, there's a lot of conversation about resistance. So, like, these are the types of events, this is what resistance looks like. And it may not be through an organization always, but MEDA can be a stepping stone to meet other people.
Right.
Yeah.
And even City Hall and the mayor's office can help. You brought my attention to a couple sites that we can review. So here is the mayor's office. Tell us more about what these resources are and how people can start applying for that sort of help.
Yeah, so the Mayor's Office of Housing and Community Development works in partnership with MEDA. And they basically have two huge programs that are really going to be expanding, the below market rate rental program and the below market rate home ownership program. So there's a lot of small pieces to both of those things, but the main things is there are two avenues that people can explore that are gonna hopefully lead to affordable housing for them. The homeownership could take a little longer depending on your specific situation, but the rental opportunities, it's a super easy application. If we actually, if we can go to the Dahlia tab, that will be super useful to show folks the website. Yeah, so the city of San Francisco has created this portal, and as of the new year, it's translated in 4 different languages, which you can check out at the in the top ribbon, which is super awesome. You know, accessibility for multiple communities is always super important. And this website is just, you know, pretty user-friendly if you have any experience with the internet. Like if you have a Facebook, a Twitter, an Instagram, then you'll probably be able to figure out this website. And if not, we can talk to you about it at MEDA and help you apply. And it's just a really great resource because it's like, you don't think that people really would like rank high in the lottery system, but we see clients getting placed and we see, you know, the effects of them having stable housing and that how that changes their life in a lot of ways, you know, because again, going back to housing, it's like housing doesn't just affect where you live, it affects your emotional state, it affects your financial health, it affects your relationships with other people. So
when you look at the website, there are some requirements of income and such is on this first hit here. Is there a wide spectrum that allows all form of income to find a niche, or does it start like here? It's like $6,000 a month.
Yeah,
so everybody's gonna say, "Come on,
what the heck are you doing?" No, definitely, and that's again going back to like the stratification in San Francisco because of the super like wild economies that we're in. The different groups and different income levels that are struggling are actually pretty vast and really interesting, but let's just stay on topic. So like basically there are a lot of different opportunities. If you check out what's called the San Francisco area median income chart, it'll show you the different categories. For the most part, if you check out that chart, and we can talk about it in real life if you want to meet me, or if you can, most of the units are between 40% and some of them go up to 60 or 70% for rental. And that can mean a lot of things for a lot of different people. The SFAMI chart is based on your household size as well as your income level, and it is annual. So again, it can mean a lot of different things for a lot of different people, but hopefully the goal moving forward for the city of San Francisco is to focus on increasing different opportunities. But again, that's advocacy. A lot of these things, the below market rate program and the home ownership program came out of years and years of people advocating for themselves. So that's really what it takes in these times. And I think for the below market rate home ownership program, there are also some income requirements. And yeah, so there's ways that we can try to mediate that or talk about that. But then there are some like hard requirements.
Right.
Most of those opportunities will be between 80% and 120% AMI. Again, check out the chart, San Francisco AMI 2017.
But that's exactly where you guys, as an interface, come in handy and are able to orient. When
Definitely.
I came visit you, you were able to give suggestions as to where to start a search, how to figure out even things like what your credit score might be and how to build one. I also got to meet Luis about how to explore ways to tighten up a business or to find more opportunities about employment and. Tell us about the other departments and for instance, Lewis's and what can people expect there for support.
Sure, yeah. So my colleague Luis Ramos works in the business development program, which is part of the asset building program at MEDA, which is where I'm inside of as well. Yay. And basically there are a lot of different services that he can offer. It's a lot of it is like conversation and classes. He has a series of classes that you can participate in for free. I think it's a 10-week program, and you just have to register. And then he will go over a lot of different how to build a business model and like how to think about funding sources and sustainability and like long-term financial health of a business and like expansion if that's your goal. And it's just super necessary resources because, like, even if we think about, like, for example, City College of San Francisco, which is also an awesome resource, their tuition is increasing substantially. And for the working class person, it can be difficult to take these types of courses. I think their tuition's like $46 or $50 a unit. So,
I mean, it varies. It depends on your income. So
yeah,
some folks may find
some
it
folks. Yeah. There is like there is free options like the bog waiver exists. But still, if like for example, if you're someone who has already graduated, it's difficult to get financial aid, if not impossible. And there are a lot of people who are low income who have bachelor's degrees. So again, just thinking about that, like what is the value of that? Why are we talking about this? It's like MEDA can offer free classes that may not be accessible in any other way.
Right, so there's also an educational element at MEDA.
Education is so much of what we do. It's so much. Honestly, I think it is one of our strongest components. Yes, we have so many different resources we can link you to, but at the same time, it's like we can tell you, oh, go here, do this, do that. But if you don't understand why, then how are we helping you grow as a person? And I think that that's the really important thing. And it's like we're investing in our community members. We're investing in the people who are long-term or new-term residents to San Francisco who want to feel more stable and whatever that may look like for them.
So 20 minutes go by so quickly.
Yeah, those are
We're
fast.
already
Yay.
about to wrap our show up. We'll finish up with that flyer that got my attention.
Yeah, and please, lastly, do really just want to recommend folks check out our website for the Mission Techies program. Again, it's a series of courses that are free. You can learn how to do... or you can learn about HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. And then they also have, like, a couple other components, some Salesforce stuff. And then if you're interested in, like, actually... like the actual technical part of a computer, like the IT support, there are some classes as well.
Right. And it's their website.
Yeah, and it's on the website. Yeah, and they're about to, or they're looking to expand the cohort now. It's about to start, so definitely check that out if that's something you're interested in. Startup or going into a boot camp can be so expensive for a lot of people, and we really see this as a way to diversify and support communities of color who are interested in tech, and who want to be part of the conversation about the information economy and have access to that. Yeah, but overall, again, thank you so much for hosting me. I'm feeling super energetic. I think there's going to be...
Yeah, thanks for coming.
Yeah.
I'm always excited when we have new opportunities in the community to engage and find solutions rather than be despondent and think about leaving. So
yeah,
thank you, Elisa, for coming over.
Yeah, thanks
to
so
Mr.
much for having me.
And you guys visit the website, sfmeda.com. Explore the opportunities. Don't hesitate to place a call and visit the staff at MEDA. Very dedicated, excellent resource that I want everyone to know about. So we'll see you in a couple weeks. Thank you, SF MEDA, medasf.org.
And yeah, and especially support for a documented community. If you need support applying to an ITIN, or if you'd like to file free taxes, you can call 211 and set up an appointment. There are different locations all throughout the city.
All right. Signing off.